Martin.
I know that ever since Dr. Walker's speech, everyone has been anxious to hear me give my thoughts tongue, but stop me if I go too fast. When I sat down, that's only funny to half of you. When I sat down to write this speech, I was faced with the daunting task of summarizing and giving meaning to all of our high school experiences. What I immediately realized was that that was impossible. We may all be graduating at the same time from the same school, but the paths that we have followed up until this point have been as different as they could be. In the 5 minutes I have here with you, which if you know me I'll probably go over anyway, how could I possibly be expected to cover all of that ground? It doesn't even approach enough time to cover my own 4 years. As much as I know we're all done with school, at least for a little while, humor me and let's do a little math. There are 69 of us. Each of us spent 4 years in high school. That means 276 cumulative years of high school in this room, not counting our parents and teachers. 3 times longer than any of us will likely live. When you factor in all the ways that our individual paths crossed and became inextricably intertwined with each other's, you can begin to see just how crazy this task I've been given really is. So what I want to talk about is not our wonderful memories that we've collectively accumulated throughout the years. Brianna already covered those bases. What I want to talk about is everything that we won't remember, because that is what truly made up our high school experiences for the last 4 years. Think about it. Even if there was one memorable moment per day for our 4 years here, that still leaves infinitely many moments that we will not remember. Hundreds of assignments, thousands of conversations, millions of laughs, all forgotten. Now, I don't bring this up just to depress everyone. Although I feel that's what I may have done. What I want to show is truly the scope of what we have been through together. We have accomplished such a staggering amount, had such an uncountable plethora of good times, completed enough homework assignments that we've probably killed a giant redwood each, that it is physically impossible for someone to remember all of it. Let this shed new light on everything that you do remember. Those were the moments so remarkable that they cemented themselves in your minds amidst everything that was going on around them. This also brings an interesting perspective on the process of learning that we have, sometimes reluctantly, sometimes energetically, more often the former than the latter, dedicated ourselves to. Every time we asked under our breath, when will we ever use this? We already knew the answer. We won't. But can any one of us say with certainty that as a freshman walking onto campus on the first day of high school, we knew exactly what we wanted to do with our lives and exactly what knowledge we needed to do it? Obviously not. And if you did, then what were you doing there in the first place? Get out and do it. High school is not a PhD program. It does not exist to give you an intensive career-oriented education in one area. It exists to stretch our minds, to broaden our horizons, expose us to as many new and different ideas as possible, and give us the opportunity to make choices about what interests us and what we want to do with our individual lives. If we had not been exposed to all of the different classes and ideas that we have been, how could anyone know that they were not missing the area they would truly be most passionate about? If Charles Darwin had never taken a biology class, he might have been an accountant. If Albert Einstein had never taken a physics class, he might have been a poet. If James Joyce had never taken a literature class, he probably would have been unemployed. Rejoice in the opportunities you have been given to explore, or else fantastic talents may go forever undiscovered. So thank you to everyone that helped with that endeavor. Teachers, parents, coaches, and counselors. What all of these people realize that many of us have not yet is that education is not about the facts and the figures. It is about the processes and the values. We will not remember our ions, or how to calculate the molarity of a specific solution required to titrate any specific acid. But we will remember how to break problems down into their component parts and examine them individually, that everything always has something else going on underneath the surface, and to take the complicated parts of life step by step. We will not remember the 26th President of the United States of America or the purpose of the Embargo Act, but we will remember to look for patterns, and that the history of our society is based on a long, complex chain of events, any one of which, if altered, would drastically change the world as we know it. We will not remember all the precepts of just war theory or the tourist attractions of the Seychelles, but we will remember that there is never one simple answer to the questions of morality, and that together our individual actions form the conscience of society. We will not remember the difference between a fable and an allegory, or all the characters in Hamlet, but we will remember the importance of telling stories and having character. We will not remember the kite runner, but we will remember running kites, and how a book can be a portal into another time, another culture, another world. We will not remember how to determine the direction of a current induced by a magnetic field, but we will remember that the world around us functions according to amazing, elegant laws that factor into every part of our lives. We will not remember what phylum Ginkgo biloba belongs to, or these steps in DNA replication, but we will remember that our bodies do incredible things to keep us alive, and that we exist due to a billion-year process of random selection, and that the universe and nature operates in a wonderful, beautiful way, and that it has chosen us to be here, thanks to the efforts of each and every one of our ancestors in the survival of the fittest. All we have to do now is prove that we deserve it. We have been given an incredible opportunity to make our mark on the world, and that is what the world asks of us. We have one simple task: to leave the world a better place than it was when we got here. The way that each one of us does it will be radically different from everyone else. Let what you have learned here inspire you to new heights. Now, it has been said that high school is the best 4 years of your life. I pity you if this is true. High school may be fun, but if this is as good as it gets, we might as well give up now, because that means it's all downhill from here. Here is your last assignment. Make high school the worst 4 years of your life. Make the time we have spent together pale in comparison to the rest of your life, so that you never want to come back. Because like it or not, you never can. Never be satisfied. Never stop improving. Don't let these be your golden years. Make every year shine brighter than the last. And so finally, in closing, it is only fitting to quote one of the most inspirational teachers of all time. Sorry, John Keating from the Dead Poets Society. In saying, "Carpe diem," seize the day. Do not let this life pass by you. Grab it by the horns and ride it into the sunset. Each second that passes by is a second that you could use to change your life, to change the world. This is something that you can only do on your own. But as you hold your chin up high and walk headfirst into the oncoming storm, remember that you are not alone. You will never be alone, because the bonds you have forged in the fire of high school are for life. I am proud to have been part of the St. Vincent de Paul High School graduating class of 2013. We will be the very best, like no one ever was. I will always hold a special place in my heart for each and every one of you. I can only hope that I did something to make all of your high school experiences a little bit better. Something that will maybe make you remember me down the line. Because amidst all the things that we will forget, I will never forget you. Thank you.